And now, Connect with KB.
This is Kristin Beltzer, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Connect with KB. Joining me today are two of my great friends who are building a powerful team at the newly opened First National Bank of Michigan branch in downtown Lansing. I want to welcome to the podcast Patty Barnas, who's the Lansing Market President, and Jennifer Marsh, Vice President of Commercial Banking. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you.
It's exciting.
It is exciting.
I'm so glad to have you guys in studio. We've had a great journey together and a long-lasting relationship over 20 years, and it's great to see the success that you're having and to get you here in Studio B. And I want to talk about the First National Bank of Michigan story. And Patty, I'm going to start with you.
Thanks, KB. Happy to be here. So we are a privately owned community bank that was started in 2006 by two former bank presidents of what was then First of America. John Schrader, he was president in Lansing, and Larry Luth was president in Kalamazoo. And after a couple mergers, there was National City and then PNC. Their worlds were rocked a little bit, and they wanted to get back to community banking. So they got together a group of investors and started with $11 million to start the bank in 2006. And now, fast forward, we are at about $800 million in assets with about $600 million in loans.
A little growth.
A little bit of growth. And we're primarily a commercial bank, about 90% commercial. We do a lot of commercial real estate lending. We do investment lending. We also offer services to individuals as well. We have mortgages, deposits, safety deposit boxes, loans, all the full service. Yeah.
Now, with this, I think your Lansing branch that you just opened up last week is now the sixth branch that you have. You have three over in Kalamazoo, one in Grand Rapids, one in Holland, and now Lansing. And, you know, how is that to open up an office? I mean, to get this up and running right now in light of COVID, how has that been?
Yeah, well,
great timing, too.
Yeah, great timing to be opening up a bank branch. Well, we knew all along when I joined in 2017 that Lansing was going to be the next location. And Dan Beltzer and Jeffrey Grundyke, our president and our executive vice president and senior lender, were former First of America folks too. And they started a loan production office in Grand Rapids in 2011. But because they covered the state of Michigan previously, they had a lot of clients and contacts in Lansing. And so it just made sense that after they got Holland opened, that Lansing would be next. And the nice thing about it for Jennifer and myself is that when we came on board, there was already about $40 million in loans on the books. And we all know it's easier to grow from something than from nothing.
Sure.
So it just made sense for those folks who had the connections here to develop a full service branch here. And doing it during COVID has been different. Typically we would have a grand opening, a big party, invite all of our friends and clients. So this year, what we did was a video, which we will be sending out to our clients to let them know that we're here. And so that's one little twist. Masks are another. You know, we're open only by appointment from 12 to 5, so we have a little different hours than a normal bank would do. But so far, it's going great. Great.
You know, the grand opening last week, and Jen, you know, I want you to touch a little bit on the visibility of your branch because you are just in the heart of downtown Lansing, right on the corner of Washington and Michigan Avenue. And how are you welcoming customers? I mean, you've got a beautiful facility. I had an opportunity to tour it last week. But what is the approach, and how do you do that? How do you get the word out? And are you getting a lot of traffic?
Well, first I'd like to say that I started my career in 1990 in commercial lending at what used to be the Michigan National Tower, now the Bogie Tower. And so it's amazing to be back downtown at this spot, being able to look at the Capitol. My office is right there looking at Michigan. It's so exciting, and I'm just hoping that I have the opportunity to retire from this office and be downtown the whole time. We did have our ribbon cutting last week. You were asking about that. It was super exciting because we'd been looking forward to it for such a long time. As Patty mentioned, with COVID, it was a little smaller event than we had hoped, but we really appreciate all the people that were involved in helping us with that. We had some of our customers. We had the mayor. We had the Lansing Chamber, Downtown Lansing Inc., and the Greater Lansing and Convention and Visitors Bureau. They were all there. and as Patty said, we probably will, as we get control on COVID, we will be able to have a lot bigger open house and have the real party. But that's just a little ways down the road. But yeah, it's super exciting.
Well, it really is. And for you guys too, and when you talk about your footprint, and then you talk about your business and 90% of it being commercial. Jen, you are one of the best known commercial lenders in the region. You are so good at your job. And when you work with Jennifer Marsh, you are getting just an outstanding product. So talk a little bit about the market right now and how is it? Are people making moves both personally and professionally? And what kind of projects are you working on?
Yeah. For us, even through these uncertain times, business is going well. I think a lot of it helps that we're a community bank and that we're focused on customers in both the good times and the bad times so that they know that we're here for them. I also think that the low interest rates right now, companies are able to take advantage to buy new equipment. They're able to buy new real estate. So they're still doing that financing that we're able to help them out with. We also are seeing with the low rates some refinancing. So we have quite a few projects. We've stayed really busy during all this time.
Well, and I suspect you were probably pretty busy with the PPP too. I mean, you guys were facilitating those loans as well and helping people and navigating, obviously, the challenges that they were having. And let's talk a little bit about that and that process.
I have to say that I'm so proud to be a part of First National Bank of Michigan. We came together from the minute we were getting information from the SBA on how we could work as a team. We put all hands on deck trying to get the input from the customers. A lot of the, other banks, probably weren't working. We started first thing in the morning, we worked all night long getting them input so that we would have all of our customers. I think that for the size of our bank, I know maybe Patty can speak to the exact number of it, but we were amazing. I was so proud to be a part of this team.
Well, and to really help out people when they really, really need it and to give them some guidance because, there is no playbook for this. There was there was no way to know.
And there were a lot of banks that weren't unable to get them through there just with the amount of loans that they had. So it was so nice to be able to get in there and help some of these people who were struggling and not knowing whether or not they would be.
Well, and when you talk about, kind of the team, Jen, and, your pride in that and the two of you working together, this has been a journey for the two of you, too. And Patty, I'm going to let you talk a little bit about that because you guys have had an opportunity to work together for a long time here in Lansing.
Thank you. Yes. I started working with Jennifer a number of years ago when we were at Fifth Third Bank. She joined our team. And right then, I knew she was a keeper because she has the best credit training that there is, and you need that in commercial lending. And so then I made a move to another bank after Fifth Third just became quite large and told my boss there, I've got a team I'd like to bring over, and brought a couple, including Jennifer, to Capital National Bank. And then
with our good friend Paula Cunningham.
Yes. Paula, I love Paula Cunningham.
I do too.
And so then made a move to Flagstar because a former bank president had gone there, and he recruited me there, and I recruited Jen there. We weren't working together at the time, but we worked for the same company. And then when I started with Jennifer and Dan at First National Bank of Michigan, we knew we were going to hire another commercial lender very quickly. And I said, I've got the person. We don't even have to really look any further. But she had to pass the test with Dan and Jeffra, and she did with flying colors. So now we're back together again.
Well, this is kind of like the coaching ranks. And you, from a leadership perspective, Patty, a success when you see it and all of the right makings of a good team. And so to bring Jennifer with you, obviously was a very, very smart move. I want to talk about Dan and Jeffra for a minute. Dan Beltzer and Jeffra Grundyke, and, their leadership in West Michigan, being instrumental here in Lansing, getting this Lansing office open, bringing the two of you on board and others. They are working with the Gillespie Group. I know that, have a very close relationship with Pat Gillespie and Rachel Michaud. It's great to see that kind of collaboration. And don't you think at the end of the day that it is about the relationships and the people that you meet? And that's really how you were introduced to Jeffra, I think, was through Rachel Michaud. And so it's the power of connections.
Absolutely. And I actually talked about that during my time at the ribbon cutting. I thanked Rachel again. She's the one who introduced me to Dan and Jeffra. I had not heard of them. But our community bank is really all about collaboration. For an example, when we were starting to look for space downtown, we reached out first to our existing clients, our development clients. They were all looking for us. And I'm happy to say that we ended up working with one of our clients. He also transformed the space into this beautiful location that we're in now. And so we're just really proud of that and continue to just collaborate whenever we can. And the one thing, as Jen mentioned about a community bank, is it's all about relationships. It's about the people you know, how you take care of them, and what you can do for them.
Well, you, the two of you, I mean, you have so many connections here in Lansing. You are so community oriented, and you know, it's about the involvement too. It's about being with, you know, others in the business community. You attend a lot of Lansing Chamber events. You do a lot of things that are connected with nonprofits in the region in terms of sitting on boards. I know the two of you have been involved with the Arts Council of Greater Lansing, as well as the Humane Society, and opportunities to get out and to build awareness around the work that you're doing. Do you see a lot of your clients start to come with you when you go from bank to bank, and I suspect be able to work with people because they're generally tied to people, not necessarily the entity? And so, Jen, I'm going to let you kind of hit on that about your relationships and who you work with.
Right. First of all, I want to talk about my relationships with both you two. You know, you mentioned that, and when I started working for Patty, I was extremely lucky because I could not have asked for a better mentor. She is not only amazing in banking, but the relationship part. She has been so instrumental in helping me build relationships throughout the community. You know, community is really what we have in the banking industry over the last 30 years. The banks have merged and been acquired. I mean, you could be in the same job, but have three different names of your bank. So, I mean, you, even though you were still at that same place, it looks like you work for three different banks. So the biggest thing you have is relationships. And we've just spent a lot of time. It's important. It's important that people know you care. It's important to get involved and really try to help them succeed with what they're trying to do with their business. I know both Patty and I have helped a lot of businesses in this Lansing area. So
well, and
proud
you know,
of that.
Absolutely, and you should be proud of it. And you know, it's so interesting when I have people on this podcast, and you know, you can really see how genuine and authentic that they are, and that their mission really is just to just help people. And I know the two of you really well, and I know that that's why you've had such success here in the region, whether it's at, you know, a Fifth Third or a Cap Nash, and here you are now at First National Bank of Michigan. It seems like such an ideal fit for you two. How are you getting the word out, Patty?
Yeah, well, I talked about the video a little bit. We're going to have that in a link that we can send in an email to folks so they can just click on it. And it's just a little short, 30-second, because attention spans are short these days. We're trying to let as many people know as we can by word of mouth. Jen and I have really had to cut back, most recently, our networking activities, in-person networking activities. But we've kept up a lot through Zoom calls and different things like that. We're still very active. It sounds like our senior management is starting to allow us to be able to do more in-person events as long as we stay safe, stay masked, and social distance. So we'll be starting that up again. But a lot of it is just getting our story out there. And again, going back to Dan and Jeffra, they know so many people in this community, and people are finding us. And
really, if you don't mind me adding in here, it's people like yourselves. We talked about relationships. The relationship that we have with you, I mean, like you said, it's a friendship now. We started out as coworkers, and over the years we've worked together. So having these relationships and your ability to spotlight us today, that's amazing as well.
Well,
and I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And you guys had an opportunity to be on Fox 47 this morning. Yep. And so you are making around your media stars now. You know that. Yeah. So taking a little tour. What's the best part of working at First National Bank of Michigan?
The best part is I feel like we're all part of the same team. I have worked at other banks before where my competition was down the hall or the next office. It's not that way at First National Bank of Michigan. We're all really trying to work and grow the bank. We're all rowing in the same direction, and they truly care about their employees.
You know, I think that they do too. I think that the opportunity for us when we are together to see their being so sincere, and I so appreciate their commitment to coming to Lansing and being here. How can people get a hold of you?
They can call us. Both of our numbers are 517-318-3344. And also our website is www.fnbmichigan.com. Or they can just call KB and she'll connect us.
I'm in touch with you.
Exactly.
I sure will. I want you guys to go back and say hi to my friends Dan and Jeffra. Say hi to Melanie and Chris Wilson too, the guru of first impressions over there at the branch, Lansing branch. I want to thank my guests, Patty Lloyd Barnas and Jennifer Marsh from First National Bank of Michigan. I also want to thank my supporting sponsors, Marketing Resource Group, White Law, Dowding Industries, Governmental Consultant Services, AF Group, AT&T, and the Loomis Law Firm. You can listen to all of my podcasts at connectwithkb.com. Until we connect again, go live your best life. I'm your host, Kristin Beltzer.